Well, Didier Drogba had every reason to be friendly with Benteke and the other guys because
Lukaku.
And Lukaku. That Benteke miss could pass for the miss of the season.
FIFA has this Frank Puskas Award for the goal of the season. Maybe they should also have
something for the miss of the season.
For the miss of the season. But I've seen something. Even current Super Eagles Arsenal coach Daniel Mokachi has missed something like that before. Besiktas against I can't remember Valencia in the UEFA Cup. Right in front of
empty net.
His own was closer. I think it was 3 years. He put it over the bar. So it happens like that in football. But it was a terrible.
But that was a good game. That was a good
Excellent game. Battling performance from the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire.
From 2 goals down.
From 2 goals down. A lot of people in Cote d'Ivoire are still not convinced about Sabri Lamouchi's technical capabilities.
Credentials as a coach.
I mean, our good friend Mamadou Gueye keeps talking about how he's still wet behind the ears. He has not had enough experience. That he had a job waiting for him when he was still in coaching school. But on the basis of performances like this, maybe they can have optimism going to the World Cup. But they're in a very difficult group.
All right, so that was how it ended. The Ivorians forcing Belgium to a 2-2 draw. Don't forget that Belgium are rated highly as one of the outsiders to the World Cup title. I mean, they have a lot of young players coming through who a lot of people believe could turn the World Cup around, set the World Cup on fire. Let's start by showing you results before we focus on the Nigerian game, results of our friendly games. We touched a little bit on some of these games yesterday, but we need to highlight some of them again for you today. Mexico, Nigeria, you already know, ended goalless. Portugal produced an amazing performance in the second half. Ronaldo scoring a couple of goals in this one to become the top scorer in the history of Portuguese football.
That is a
5-1 over Cameroon.
Achievement. When you consider the likes of Luis Figo and the great Eusebio have played before him, Pauletta. I mean,
but from the African angle, not a good result for Cameroon.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, not good at all for the Elephants.
We all know that the
indomitable
Cameroonians have been a bit weak in the past few years.
This is not good at all for the Cameroonians. We brought you Belgium, Cote d'Ivoire, good game as well. Spain, world champions, beating Italy 1-0.
Goal by Pedro in the 63rd
Pedro,
minute.
second half goal. France upset the Netherlands 2-0 as well. 2 first half goals, beautiful goals at that. And then Germany struggled to a 1-0 win. I mean, they see it as a struggle. But you have always talked about Chile as one of the teams that we need to keep your eyes on.
They are one of the dark horses of the World Cup. They didn't have a cutting edge yesterday, but that goal by Mario Götze was all that settled it. Germany huffed and puffed, but Chile were particularly good. And I still think they are going to be one of the most dangerous outsiders for this World Cup. They are playing on their home continent. They have a really decent crop of players, and they play some explosive attacking football. Any team that belittles or underrates Chile do so at their own peril.
And of course, yesterday we talked to you about the teams in Nigeria's group at the World Cup. We talked about Iran losing 1-2 to Guinea. We talked about that yesterday. We already brought you the result of those games yesterday, so there's only for us to overflog them. Iran lost 1-2 to Guinea. Argentina and Romania played out a goalless draw. So we need to see how Romania did it, holding Messi, the Agueros, the Di Marias of this world, keeping them from scoring. We need to find out how they did it and know how we can also plot our strategy. And of course, Bosnia lost 2-0 to Egypt. So I hope that the NFF can somehow
get the tapes,
get footages of these games. Iran against Guinea, Bosnia against Egypt.
But even the tapes are still a poor substitute for having a very experienced, very decent technical reports man in the stand.
Technical reports.
Who was watching. There is a lot that goes off the camera.
If you cannot get that very sound technical report, at least get footages and have an idea of.
What I'm saying is that the footage will only show you what it will show you.
It can show you
off the ball incidents, the shape of the team,
it will show
what
you
players do when the ball is not with them.
It will show you something. Look at this Belgium against Cote d'Ivoire, for example. Look at the goal by Fellaini. You know they can be deadly from crosses. So if we cannot get a detailed technical report of all those friendly games, let's get the footages, sit down and look at whatever we can pick from it to help the Eagles going forward. Now let's come to the big one. Nigeria, Mexico. We stayed up to watch this one, and a lot of people have been reacting in different ways. Some people are disappointed. Some, are looking at it in a different way. And a lot of people are asking my own opinion. For me, it wasn't a spectacular performance by Nigeria, but I don't also think it was a mediocre performance. So it wasn't mediocre for me. It wasn't spectacular for me. It was somewhere in the middle of the line. maybe a 55% for the Eagles in that game. But Tunde, what can we pick out? Nigeria, Mexico, what can we pick out? That game, high tempo from start to finish. A lot of young players had their debut for Nigeria. What can you pick out?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say that a lot of people should try to understand that this team, it's not easy getting players to fly over from one part of the world to another and getting them for just 2 or 3 training sessions and ask them to play a major international friendly against a team that have predominantly all their players playing in their league except 1 or 2 scattered in Europe. It was always going to be a difficult task. But the performance, the positives for me was the fact that we have 2 excellent goalkeepers. That is an unbelievable luxury that you have 2 excellent goalkeepers at the top of their game.
Barring injuries. That department is sorted out.
Exactly. That we also have new options, new players who bring plenty to the table, who can bring new combinations to what we currently have. For example, I was particularly pleased with Michael Uchebo. I thought I've been talking a lot about how he brings a new dimension from what we currently have in the team, and how this can be a good thing for us going forward. You talked about Keshi having a headache. Every coach will tell you that they pray to have such a headache, where you have 2 or 3 players, or 4 in some cases, vying for a single position, which means that you can only pick the best from what is a particularly good crop of players. A lot has been said about the quality of the jersey.
Before we talk about the jersey, let's talk about the play. Good goalkeeping, maybe well-organized defending, combative midfielders. But the problem area is that we still need to work on our goal scoring.
Well, that has always, we've talked about that for...
If you don't score goals, the best you can get from a game is a draw.
Is a draw. And you have to win in order to progress. Yeah, we talk about how good teams, tournament-winning teams are built on good defenses. But hey, all those tournament-winning teams scored goals. That was how they got to the final in the first place. Keshi is still struggling with that department, and that is the truth. Emenike seems to be his only potent weapon. And if Emenike is out of the game, then you struggle to see where
this game particularly he had to drop deep. He had to drop deep a number of times
to come and to carry the play forward. And that's what you expect from someone like Emenike, who is particularly powerful, who can hold off players, hold on to the ball. But Anuchebo will grow. Also, and Imo Ezekiel, exciting as well. Maybe stage fright will also affect some of these boys. Imo Ezekiel has never played for any age, for any Nigerian national team, be it under 17, under 20, or even the
at any level.
At any level.
This is his first game for Nigeria at any level.
At any level, so stage fright will come to bear.
And I think he was able to acquit himself quite well.
I thought so as well. I'm just pleased that these players, will give Keshi plenty to ponder going into the World Cup. Yes, there were some mistakes in the second half. The first half was good, was very, very good. We played much better in the first half, but a lot more.
We made a lot of changes.
Yes, and that will affect
the rhythm of the game and all of that.
Yes, but I'm still thinking that they should have kept a closer look on Andres Guardado of the Mexicans. He was the one who was dictating play for them. He was the most dangerous player. I thought closing him down a bit, forcing him to play backwards would have been a better option, because once he turned and he played those forward balls, we were in trouble. So I thought they didn't shut that avenue for the Mexicans effectively enough. So, this team is still a work in progress, like Keshi would say. We haven't played a competitive match in a long, long time. So the rustiness...
For me, our key players who are not getting regular playing time in their clubs, Shola Meobi, Victor Moses,